Did somebody say WeeaBoots? Because I think I just heard someone say WeeaBoots. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the WeeaBoots podcast. We got a full house today, but Jay from Helvetica.com's fucking out. We got with us Bob.
Hey.
He's from GigaBoots, isn't that right, Bob?
I think.
We got Jeff from...
my house.
I love that in the first episode. I'm like, hey Jeff, where are you from? And you just burst out laughing and you're like, I don't know, or whatever. And then we have Eric from GigaBoots.
I am here.
You joined us.
I am.
For this.
I'm here talking.
You know, we're actually reviewing Nichijou today.
What?
That is an anime.
What? What?
Now, what Jeff and I have fucking pulled on YouTube is the best joke ever. We're reviewing Danchikoko no Nichijou, or Nichi Bros as people know it, and you two have watched the wrong anime.
Hey, I watched that one too. It's just been a few years.
You know what I really like is the Dragon Quest jokes.
The Dragon Quest, that one was seriously so funny though.
Yeah, that thing's hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
my favorite part in Danchikoko no Nichijou is the part where they're on the hillside, and he's like, what would a cool guy say?
Yeah.
And he's like, the wind is bringing in something fierce, or something like
Yeah,
that.
literary girl is what they call it, I think.
Yeah.
I fear I may have jumped into the deep end of the pool here.
I think
Help.
you actually, there's a slight chance you might actually like Danchikoko
It's
more.
pretty good.
It is just Guy Nichijou. And it's embarrassing how much of the stuff you can fucking relate to. Like, they're just doing dumb roleplay D&D in the street with
Yeah.
sticks.
Like, just pick
They're
up a stick
LARPing.
and like,
They're kind of-
it's a
they're-
sword.
But they're LARPing in the way that kids LARP, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, I have a stick, this is a sword. Not like, I spent $500 on my Ren Fair outfit. By the way, Kyle Whitty, if you're listening, sorry about the Ren Fair joke. My friend Kyle Whitty's at a Ren Fair this weekend.
I want to go to one.
I was
That's
like,
cool. There
I was
are
like,
wenches there.
I was like,
You can call them wenches.
I was like,
Me.
Kyle,
Yeah,
check this out.
think.
You should have gone to Pensacon and the Ren Fair, because you could just Ren Fair it up at both and be like, look at this cool outfit I made for this one con exclusively.
for the Game of Thrones cosplay. Sure.
You aren't a midget! And of course he hasn't seen it. He's like, shit, are they all midgets?
I assumed. I mean, Peter Dinklage is pretty popular.
So yeah, we watched actual, normal Nichijou. Regular edition. You know, with
Or
the girls.
Nichijou, My Ordinary Life, which I did some research about the meaning of Nichijou. It's the two words Nichi and Joe, which means I'm and fucking with you.
I'm gonna credit that joke to me back in Furries and You. I'm like,
Yeah.
anthropomorphic meaning anthro meaning goat and pomorphic meaning fucker. So in any case,
Yeah, I don't know.
Nichijou, meaning My Ordinary Life,
Yes. Sure.
is a show, and we watched all 26 episodes.
Whoa. This is the first time we've done that, isn't it?
I feel like we did that once, and I can't
I
remember
feel like
what
you. I
form.
think you all
I
watched
didn't.
Mosquiton.
We
But
watched
Mosquiton's only like 9 episodes, maybe 12.
That still counts.
6 or something. It's
You
somewhere
watched
around.
all of it.
But
all
it wasn't
26,
26
though.
episodes.
See?
Nichijou, though delicious, is a lot.
Yes.
Next week we're gonna review. Next week we're gonna review all of Yakitate Japan.
No.
Double down, everyone, because we've got 96 episodes of amazing anime to watch. I'm just kidding. That's not happening next week. Don't look for that.
I've been wanting to watch the rest of that.
Yakitate is really good.
It's great.
We
Yeah.
could just watch like a half season or a season at a time every so often.
And we have the excuse of now it's coming to America.
Yeah, so we get nice video quality finally, because I'm
Right.
still watching the same shit from 2005, 6? 2006 at earliest, I think.
Part of the reason I haven't gotten to it is it's so gross
It
looking.
is. It's such old bullshit. Like, I don't even know that X264 existed back then. But who licensed that? Do you know?
I can't remember offhand.
Is it one of those expensive ones like Media Blaster?
No, I don't think it's one of those ridiculous expensive
Okay,
ones.
and then they're not giving it a dub, so Jeff's okay.
Right.
Besides, those jokes can't translate. Has anyone other than me in this room, Tosh, you're not here, has anyone other than me in this room seen the Filipino dub of Yakitate Japan?
No.
If not.
It is as top-notch as you expect from a Filipino dub.
Yeah, my mom watches Filipino TV every single day, pretty much.
Just so we're clear, the Filipino dub of DBZ, Big Green or whatever.
Yeah.
The fucking
Big Green?
Yeah,
Big Green.
Piccolo.
They just called it Big Green.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
It
Yeah,
was-
they have some pretty incredible dubs over there. Yu Yu Hakusho also has a fucking ludicrous name. Do you remember it real quick, Tosh? What was the name of Yu Yu over there?
Ghost Fighter.
Ghost Fighter! Who wouldn't
okay.
watch that?
I would watch it with Ghost Puncher.
I hear. Is that where the that Powerpuff Girls anime got the
Yes.
Tim Curry dub?
Yes, that's where it got the Tim Curry dub. But see, that's genuinely good voice casting.
Right.
Most of it's just bad. Like, bad knockoff Ash Ketchum levels. Like, I saw an episode of Pokemon localized there. In any case, let's talk about Nichijou. Nichijou is an anime. Bob, give us some details.
Details.
He's actually looking away from the screen where he prepared all the details. So, this is a test, Bob.
Its original creator is
Prove your worth.
Arawi. I'm sorry. I've been
Keiichi Arawi. This isn't... Okay, maybe it is hard. Whatever. We all did better than Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf, so good job, everybody.
He's other things he's worked on is Helvetica Standard, which is
He?
also... Or
Are you
she.
sure on that?
Probably she.
I would
I don't
guess.
know.
This individual.
This one.
This little light. Little light. Fucking Destiny. Remember, there was one cutscene in Destiny, Jeff, where they're just like the stranger calls the fucking ghost Little Light,
Yeah.
and he's just like, oh, fuck you. And then at the end of the cutscene, you're like, settle down, Little Light. And I'm like, why did you develop a personality for 10 seconds? Shut the fuck up. God, this writing's so bad it makes Hollywood blush. But yeah, in any case, made Helvetica Standard, which is like a part of the Nichijou TV show.
Yes, it just worked right in there.
It is
Yeah.
fucking, yep, it's great. We got some directors and stuff, but you know, let's just talk about what Nichijou is a little bit before we go back to the details with Mo. In any case, so Nichijou, it is a slice of life anime.
Yes. I don't think... Okay.
No one's life is like this.
I hope no one's life is like this.
I'm sad no one's life
Yeah,
is like
I wish my life was like
Oh,
that.
well, all right.
Because then Jeff's dog could have a scarf that made it talk, and that would make his life so much better.
I want to be Sakamoto.
I wish to be
You
a
want to
kitty
be the
cat.
talking cat.
Yeah, I would like to be the talking
Okay, so
cat.
there are a few sets of groups that they stick with. At first, there's really only two major ones, and then towards the end, I think they kind of pull focus on a third group, and they each have three.
Yeah.
The main one is Mio, Mai, and Yuko.
3 girls in school.
Yeah, there are 3 girls in school. And then the second main one is Nano, who is a robot with a giant turnkey in her back.
The professor.
The
who made
professor,
her
which is an 8-year-old girl wearing a giant
lab coat.
lab
and tie.
coat that is so huge you can't see her feet under it most of the time. And then a cat they found in a box that said Sakamoto on it. Sakamoto Industries, I think. And they named him Mr. Sakamoto.
No,
and
they named him Sakamoto, and he's like, I'm 20. You call me Mister.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true. And they made a scarf so he could talk. And the first thing he does when they put the scarf on, he's like, don't you think that was a bit much petting? I know I'm a cat, but seriously. And then he just lectures them, and then Nano just picks him up and is like, I'm putting this cat back.
Back in the street. He's like, shit, no, sorry.
So,
Actually, no, I would say the first group, because the first person you see is Nano, because I remember my notes were, the first thing I see is girl with turnkey in her back. What?
Yeah,
It
it,
does
opens
feel
with
like-
her making breakfast.
I mean, the
Yeah.
arc of the
Hanging laundry
series,
or
if you
something.
really want to look at it, is kind of Nano. But I feel like there's so much more character development on the main 3, on Mio, Mai, and Yuko side, because like something actually changes about them as individuals by the end of the series.
Kinda.
Whereas Nano is kind of the same person. She's just happier because she gets to go to school. And
Well,
have
she
friends.
comes to terms with her being weird and different.
That's true.
'cause she spent
Right.
the
She
entire
has all the
time-
character development in that trio, though.
Yes, because the
Because
professor
one of those
is
is
an
an 8-year-old
asshole.
shit,
Yes.
and the other one's a cat.
I don't know why anybody would think being a robot would be a bad thing. I'd just be like, guys, check out this turnkey in my bag.
But she wants
This
to
thing's
be
awesome.
She wants to be normal girl.
She wants to have my ordinary life.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Okay, Sakamoto actually gets a character arc when he realizes, oh no, my life's shit no matter who owns me.
Yes, because his prior owner, before he became a stray,
Was awful.
treated
at
him like
owning.
shit.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
even intentionally.
Not intentionally, just was a terrible owner of pet.
Like, here, cat, have food.
And
as in
it's
ramen.
a cup of ramen.
Yeah, and then so you just basically follow these main three as they go to school, and the main shtick with the series is how it hyperbolizes pain, emotions, and the comedic timing is like they deal in contrasts. So you'll have one scene where somebody accidentally stabs their thumb with a mechanical pencil and explodes a laser out of their mouth, blowing the roof off of a building and piercing all the planets in
that
our
have
solar
aligned for this
system.
moment.
And then it'll just cut back to her through clever transition, grabbing her thumb and being like, ah. And then the next scene will just be a random camera in a street just pointed at a thing. And
Yeah.
it'll make you watch that for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it does this constantly. It's just like, here's this really engaging, like, high octane thing. And then, like, the punchlines to a lot of these things are really low key. Like, what was it? That one episode where they're trying to draw the manga, Mio is, because she draws
Smut.
Yes.
smut a lot of the time. And she's just screaming at Yuko for being such a fuck up. For, like, I don't know, that must have been like 6 minutes straight in the anime. She's just screaming at her for all these things she did. And she's like, and then I asked you to go get it. So you finally go get it. And you're like, it's cold outside. It's not even cold, you dumb bitch. And she's just yelling at her like this for like 6 minutes. And she's like, and you didn't even get me the right paper. And then it cuts to Yuko, who's holding the right paper. And she's like, sorry. And then the episode ends.
Yeah.
That's this anime. It's like really, really tense, like screaming with hilarious, good quality animation.
Yeah, this animation.
The
so
expressiveness is so awesomeness.
It feels like with a lot of like the lasers and like weird explosions, it
Yeah.
feels like there's like a weird action shonen anime trapped in a slice of life show. Just occasionally bursts out and goes, oh, and shoots a laser. At
Right.
something.
Or, you know, kills 3 people on the street for looking at smut.
Yes.
Right? Mysterious shadow boxing powers and drill punches.
Yes.
Like, what the?
The drill punch is pretty incredible. Where, what was it? Wasn't that Mio who just
Yes.
kept drill punching her sister
just
over and over?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the main 3, I'm still calling them the main 3 because I
That's-
still
that-
believe
yeah,
Nano is the only one with character
There, yeah, well,
development in that.
also
Right.
because whenever I think of
The
this
major
show,
set?
I think of those because they actually have funny moments, whereas the robot trio, it started to get pretty old. After
So I
a
guess
while.
we're having our first point of discussion here. Eric here, hey Eric,
Hey,
you don't like any of the Nano
no, I think-
professor stuff.
I hate. Halfway through this series, I realized, wow, I fucking hate the professor. I hate her. It's just that combination of smug, like house asshole, like I'm smarter than you, but also mixed with the shittiness of a child who just does whatever they want because they're a child. And I'm like, you are the worst combination of all things
Now, see-
in a single human.
For me, I appreciate most of her shittiness on the sheer scale of she's clearly an analog for scientists. Of just like most of the shit she does, she's just so caught up in like, look, I made you dispense a cinnamon roll from your fucking head because I like cinnamon rolls. And she's like, why would you do that? Oh my god. And she's like, because they're delicious. Like, she's like, that is almost scientist scale of like, cause it's fucking cool. Like, I don't care that I
Yeah,
ruined the
but
environment or
constantly-
made you awkward.
Constantly, Nano's like, please take off this turnkey. I want to look like a person and not a creepy robot thing.
And then the professor's
constantly
just
just
like-
no.
Yeah,
Just
because
straight up no or no. Why? Because it's cute.
it's cute. Yeah.
That's
hey,
it.
Hey, Jeff. Okay, well, let's go to Jeff. Jeff, is the turnkey cute?
It is cute.
Professor's right.
See, and Nano just needs to accept it.
That's science.
Sigh.
She adds the
Do you have a lab
to
coat?
make it spin faster or whatever.
Oh right. I forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah, no, to spin whenever you're happy or something
Yeah.
like that. Just that's it. It just almost every episode is like, can you please take it off? I'm damaged mentally and emotionally from having this and trying to hide it from people, and they're gonna capture me and dissect me and think I'm a robot, which is happening. Someone's hunting her, and she goes no, and then falls asleep.
So Bob,
God damn it.
what do you think about the professor and Nano?
I really like those characters. I don't like the professor as a person, but that is her place. Like, she is just supposed to be a super annoying little child.
I get that.
Nano's just the whole day trying to deal with it.
Part of the other thing that I really grated on me was that he was like, look, it's so precious, like really trying hard to be cute and adorable and precious, and I just I don't care.
Who, the professor?
Most of that was just trying to be cute.
I feel like most
some
of
parts,
the show...
some parts success, some parts were successful, but any part where the professor is like, I'm an adorable child, but also an asshole. Like, I don't.
But like,
It played all
The
the
weird
fancy
thing that she
music.
comes up with, like, when she's like, oh, I'm going to set traps for them in the house by putting down this glue. And she has, like, this gigantic tube of glue and sticks herself in it.
yeah, and almost murders a cat
Yes.
by suffocating it in a tomb of glue.
I feel like before they had Sakamoto there, it wasn't as good. Like, Sakamoto
no,
really...
but
like,
admittedly, that was how many?
that was done really quick.
I do
Yeah.
like Sakamoto because
Yeah.
he's just like.
Because he's there to try and act like an adult and raise them, but he's also a stupid little cat.
And then he sees a ball of dust and goes, shit, yes, please. Just
He is
chases
the main
it around.
character of Barakamon.
What? I don't.
Okay, yeah, and he's like the straight man.
Exactly, but
weirdo.
like, yes, straight man weirdo who is just full of shit.
Yes.
Because he's like, oh, I see it's... This is Sakamoto here. He's like, oh, yes, I see it's important sometimes to play childish games with children. Fine, I'll play along with you. Come and get me! And it's just like, man, what, he's so full of shit. I'm not complaining. I love Sakamoto. I actually really like that dynamic, which is why when Eric told me, he hates the professor so much that it really sullies that for him.
It did sour the rest of it. I do like Sakamoto, and Nano actually has kind of like a thing I can care about.
Uh-huh.
But nothing.
But
the
it also let him
professor
do those
learns
Junk and Poe
Does
sequences.
Oh, I mean, the intermissions
The
with
shark
the
one is the
professor
best. Yeah, the
in
shark one
Same
is the
Same Same Baku. Yeah, no, the professor Nano intermissions are incredible. All of them. The jump rope intermission is my favorite. The one
yes.
where I think it was Mio just runs up, does a flop into the air, and just body slams the
No,
cement.
I think that was Aoi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Yuko.
I think
Okay.
Mia's was they go to... No, it was the teacher where they would spin it. Or
Yeah.
she went to jump and they just stopped.
And she
Yeah.
just like jumping
She
close.
keeps jumping because it hit the side of her leg and just stops. And then she's like, that teacher's like the best character outside of the two
That
trees.
teacher
I
is
love the
consistently
teacher.
hyperventilating.
Yes.
Never stops.
Okay, so there's this really nervous coffee clerk who works in this universe, and they introduce it through a different segment. But this teacher who's also fucking hyperventilatingly nervous, can't articulate, and is like, they both meet up, and it is the most awkward exchange I've ever seen, because she's like, can I have one of these? And just points at like a pastry in a 4-layer like display, and she's like, I can't see. Can you tell me what the product name is? And she's like, product name? What is that?
She gives like her own name.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Could you tell me the
She's
name
like,
of it?
The name, and she's like, gives her last name, and she's like, no, the product name, and she's like, first name. And then she's like, no.
and it just ends.
And it just, yeah.
It keeps going for a while though.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes.
It keeps going after that. It's Jesus.
And then eventually it just breaks down to a point they're like, and cut away. Yeah, I feel like that teacher's my favorite out of the main cast. Though I do appreciate that joke where, what was it? The test finished. And the whole class erupts. This classroom erupts into like rapturous glee over this test being over. And they're all just so happy. And they're like announcing getting married.
Yeah.
And then one of them's like, my parents grow rice. We'll give everyone in this class a bag of rice because it's fucking celebration. And the teacher just comes in and he's like, man, we're all happy, huh? And then every kid in the class just stares at him like, you fucking ruined. And that segment just ends. I like that moment for that teacher, but outside of that, he didn't really stand out in my mind.
Yeah.
Was that the the other main teacher?
I think that's their main
No,
teacher.
no.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a different guy.
Yeah, I thought that was a different.
Because he was
different
going,
dude
wow, they
teacher.
must be really excited about learning, and I was like, it's fucking over. We don't have to do this anymore. The other one was where Yuko shifted her chair. No, she farted, I think, and shifted her chair to make it sound like something else. And everyone was like, sounds like someone's cell phone's going off. Ah, and everyone laughed, and then it goes into that. I remember things.
These are two different sequences.
These are different
entirely.
sequences
I'm
entirely.
just trying to remember them correctly. Oh well. Hey, Jeff, what do you like about Nichijou?
I like the crow.
God,
The crow is the
Hell
best
yeah.
character in
The
the
crow's
show.
incredible. So a crow that looks nothing like a crow and looks like a safety cone where the base has been replaced
Like
with jagged line to be feathers.
Badminton birdie. or
Yes.
something.
And he propels himself by launching.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's
He just is a funnel that propels through the air.
His mouth doesn't even move right.
Oh,
it just
yeah,
opens.
it's 2 frames, open and close. And he has like this insanely articulate voice that's just so soothing and everything. He's like, oh, well, when I came to this house today, I noticed that it was just like open, close, open, close, open. It is just like, it's hilarious how good his voice is with how shittily he's animated.
and also there are regular real crows in the series.
Yes, like I was like, that crow looks crazy. I guess all crows look like this. Later on, a realistic crow. Like what? Apparently, it's an alien. I don't know.
And they have it right next to the weirdo cone crow too.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yep. Incredible. One of the weirder but funnier little small segments, because a lot of the show is just small jokes, little vignettes. One of them that was just not connected to anything at all, and any character could have done it, but it was Yuko. It's like, when crossing a crow's path, make sure you keep eye contact. And the crow's like, ah! Ah! And screaming at her, and she's just staring it down as she keeps walking past it, circle strafing, and she's like, ah! And then she keeps doing it, and it's like a half-minute long segment of just that one shot of her doing that. It is so great. Like, we don't have enough animes of like high school girls screaming at birds.
Screaming at birds. Screaming at birds. The anime.
Yeah.
That sounds like a. To be right up my alley.
Yeah. I mean, that could be its own anime.
I love
Oh,
the.
I mean- Danshi Koko Say no Nichijou almost is that with some of the stupid shit they pull. What was it like? There was that episode. Okay, never mind. I shouldn't talk about that anime because we're
right.
talking about Nichijou.
Yeah.
but
We're talking about Nichijou, not
Danshi
Nichijou.
Koko used to say no Nichijou. Yeah, that's completely different.
the rice cake mascot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, with the
giant head.
Yeah,
where
where it
he's
was
doing
like-
his stupid dance, and he's just like,
They had
oh.
a festival, and it was really just the city wanted to put this one rice cake stand on the street. And when they did it, they have this mascot where his entire head, like everything else is normal, but his head is a rice cake, and he can't see through it, or they can't see him through it.
They can't.
It's just
yeah, they
creepy
can't
as
see
fuck.
out
It
of
looks
it,
like
can
an egg turned on its side. And what was it? Mio's wearing it, and she's just trying to fucking stand there and be calm. And he's like, "You're sullying the name of Mr. Rice Cake." And then she's like, and he's like, "Here, let me show you." Makes her run a stand, hasn't instructed her at all. And then he just starts doing a weird fucked up dance in it, like gesticulating at people. And she's running the stand, and some person,
And
first
then,
guy
no, then
comes
a-
up.
then he gets
No,
arrested.
well, the first guy comes up, and he's like, "How much is it?" And she's like, "I don't know." "Hey, how much is?" And when she looks over, he's now against a wall, and a policeman has his gun pulled. And he's just like, "Oh!" And it's like, what the fuck? It's free.
Just take it and go.
Just take it and go. And then he goes, "Lucky."
Okay, good seg. Can we talk about? I don't watch a lot of anime.
No.
There is so much just
But your
random throwing in of
Your extensive
English.
Gundam Wing collection.
I watched it once when it was on Toonami. That's
Then
it.
explain all of your fan fiction.
Okay,
Your hero Yaoi OC.
I'll explain all of it.
His twin brother Hero Yaoi.
I'll explain all of it by saying it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Just pepper in, like, you made the point that, you know, English has a lot of loan words, and we use them like
Yes,
French
like
and English,
guillotine.
all that
and
stuff.
Kumquat.
Sure.
That's a vegetable, though. That doesn't fucking
But straight up, wholesale entire phrases in English, just randomly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always jarring for me.
Yeah.
Is that just a thing?
I mean, if you were French and you listen to a lot of Rendezvous,
yeah, but those are just
Guillotine.
words. They say entire like phrases just because.
I don't know. Like, I think that when it's something like, say, God is dead.
Okay, that was one of the incredible instances.
Right, like,
where
there's-
meet the brown-haired autism girl, who
Mai.
is Mai, just beats her on the head with a book, and Yuko just goes, "God is dead."
but the way she says it is so incredible because
Yeah.
she's like, God is dead.
Yes. Or when Shinano like tries to find a baseball in a field, and top-hatted person comes up and goes, "Here you go," and someone in the background goes, "Oh, gentleman."
So gentleman.
No, it's "Oh, gentleman."
Oh, gentleman. Oh, gentleman.
Like that's incredible and funny, but sometimes they're just like lucky or like random phrase in English.
Yeah.
Sense because.
Yep.
Okay.
People here do the same
Like,
thing.
That's a
okay,
thing,
so let's
I guess.
check this out. And I probably made this point on a prior WeeaBoots. I know for a fact I made it in prior GigaBoots podcast, probably. There are so many words that the Japanese use that are English words. It should terrify you because why didn't they have a word for Basarumu? Scato for skirt. Sandoichi. Toilet. Toire.
Oh.
Why did they not have any of these things before he showed up? Ah.
Right?
Meanwhile, you fucking like they have a room for kitchen or they have a word for kitchen.
Okay.
Just but toilet.
I don't know. It's just kind of like jarring because it's either funny or wait. Why did?
Yeah, that's Japan.
Okay.
I mean, Starget. Yeah.
What?
Recontextualizing. Starget
from
is
Mario 64 or something?
Mario Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Oh.
That's right.
It
Oh,
just
Shine Get.
Shine.
Get. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing they say a lot. Like, just get in that way where it doesn't work. I mean, cakey is cake.
Right.
There are a lot of
Okay.
words like that.
All
and
right.
sometimes there are even phrases like, God is dead.
Which
And-
I mean, that was the best one.
You know,
Yes.
if you're gonna watch a lot of anime, Eric, which you should totally do to yourself in your life, take this from the guy who kind of stopped watching anime until we started running this podcast. Not out of a deep hatred, but more of a lack of care.
Well, yeah.
Man, have I mentioned how much I enjoy watching bad anime? WeeBoots is working out pretty well for that.
You enjoy watching bad things in general.
That's true.
I can vouch for this.
Lost Universe, hey, what are you talking about?
That pinball movie.
Yeah, no, that pinball movie.
Oh,
yeah,
God. You.
I've never wanted to die so badly in my life.
So
Yes.
there's this website called Lumalin Films, Lumalin. I'm friends with the guy who makes these movies. They're internet movies that you can buy for $4. Just go watch a trailer on his site and you'll figure out why Jeff would want to die. Imagine that trailer was an hour and a half long and you've got it.
I'm sad that I segued a plug into there.
Yep. Hey, I don't know. I feel like anybody who's listening to this would go and watch that and probably agree with you over me.
True.
Because for me, it's $4 and I get to see some weird shit that some person on the other side of the country filmed, edited, and made, and no one else probably even approved of. That to me sounds interesting. If I could put $4 in a box and see what some person did in the 90s with VHS and a home camera,
Did he do that in the 90s?
I don't know. No.
Oh.
Though it looks like it sometimes. But no, let's talk Nichijou.
Okay.
Hey, Bob.
What's up?
Who's your favorite character?
It's hard. It honestly is. Like, I like a lot of the characters in this.
They're
And Crow's
pretty-
only there for one episode,
they're
so I'm
pretty
just
well
gonna cut
defined.
him
He
out.
left a strong impression, though.
He did.
I wish he was in more.
Yeah.
Crow's the show.
I mean, he's in the intro, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you figured... Oh,
I was gonna say, like, I really like Mai just because she's so insane. Like, she clearly.
she's
like-
autistic.
I don't even
I
want. I want to say she's just evil and like super intelligent and super powerful, as she's shown many times. She's like some sort of DBZ villain who's just a classmate.
No, she doesn't talk enough for that.
All right, maybe a more reserved villain.
And not enough scales or weird colors. This is Goku. This is oh man, what was that?
Turtles.
Turles. Turtles?
I think they felt like
Who are you cosplaying today? I like turtles. That is DBZ villain level of intellect, no doubt. Fucking, yeah, no, I don't know. I just see her as like this person who, like, okay, so it really does call back to that sentence of I cannot do evil for I know not what it is, what it means. She's just doing shit and watching shit and not acting in ways because she's just watching it happen.
Right.
She is wholly detached to her being. She's just watching dogs maul her friends.
She's a
Would that make
sociopath.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say sociopath.
Maybe?
She just can't relate to people on a social level and doesn't understand it. So she just kind of acts the way she does.
But isn't, like, at some level sociopath... Actually, I don't know how to turn that into sociopathy.
Sociopathy or sociopathic?
I don't know. Psychopathic is actually supposed to be psychopathy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
slightly
so
different.
it's probably sociopathy. There we go. We'll go with that, sociopathy. So, in any case, isn't there a part of that where you're, like, also manipulative and kind of,
I
like...
think that's more of the psychopath that can't, like...
You have to be in control or
It's-
something.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, there's something...
It's like you can't understand that, you can't empathize with other people. You are completely and totally involved in just yourself, I think. I'm probably wrong. So,
Yeah, well,
psychopath.
somebody can look that up at some point.
We looked up the difference between
Yandere
tsundere and
Tsundere.
yandere, but not psycho and sociopath.
Which Bob wants people to know, that chick that blows up Sasahara is tsundere, not a yandere.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because
yandere
she
didn't fit. That's what Wikipedia said, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wikipedia, the font of all knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh wait. A person with a psychopathic personality whose behavior is antisocial, often criminal, and who lacks a sense of moral responsibility or social conscience.
I mean, that
Okay,
kind of, that's
so
my...
That sounds like
That's
I
a
guess.
what psychopath.
Oh, I don't know.
Psychopath is just someone who... I mean, psychopaths can empathize.
Well,
but
I mean,
they
like,
just
I know
don't.
there's like a distinct difference.
Yeah, there is, but whatever. We don't need to get
Oh,
to that
here we
aspect.
go.
We were just debating
Second
whether or not...
Google result: difference between psychopath and sociopath.
Hooray!
With his blazing fast iPhone 6 Plus, Jeff from WeeaBoots. I almost said .com. We haven't even... It would be hilarious to register that address, have it forward to a YouTube playlist.
Wow.
That seems like a good use of $16 a year.
Why not?
Great.
Fuck, I need to get on that.
Either way, she's got issues.
Right, she's not right in the head.
Some would say she's not quite normal.
I like that she just, whenever she's hanging out with them, they'll just find a note eventually that says, I'm leaving.
I left.
And
Bye.
and she's already gone.
I went home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, no, she's helping blue-haired girl do her like art stuff, and consistently, she's like, "Oh, I just need you to color in the borders."
Yeah,
and
I
then
need
she
you to
just
fill in
fills
the
it
background.
just with color or something, and then
Yeah.
she just fills it with other stuff. Like, why'd you do that?
Like an
Because it
entire
was
other
boring.
panel, a scary-ass person.
Yeah.
And then at one point it was like, okay, here's a fresh page of paper, just fill these backgrounds. I'll draw over it. And then she just draws her own comic there.
Yeah.
Where it was like, what was it? An old man and an old woman who farm, and then some weird peach soldier
Yeah.
appears out of the ground.
Superhero question mark, whatever it
And then
was.
she's like, he's a peach soldier. And she's like, I don't care!
Is that what it was? A peach soldier?
Yeah, it was. The word wasn't soldier, but it was a word for a soldier.
Right.
And it was just like, what the fuck?
Psychopaths, in general, have a hard time forming real emotional attachments with others. Instead, they form artificial, shallow relationships designed to be manipulated in a way that most benefits the psychopath. People are seen as pawns to be used to forward the psychopath's goals. Psychopaths rarely feel guilt regarding any of their behaviors, no matter how much they hurt others. That last line is what makes me
Oh
think
yeah,
of
I was
this.
about to
Yeah,
say.
Like
That's
how
it.
she was like where she threw the disc and then
Yep.
the dog was like, I'm gonna get it, and she was like,
Skeet
"I'm
shoots
gonna-
it out of the
I'm
air."
skeet shooting. but I failed to let my dog know.
Which those dogs,
Yeah.
let me tell you,
Her dogs are more trouble than her, I would say.
those dogs are like animated in a way that's endearing and like, are you okay, dog? Because they're always panting, and then that white dog is freaking out. In that
Yeah,
way.
he's always spinning on his back 2 feet as he uses his front 2 to leap with. And he did it like perfect 180s for so long at one point in the anime. It was like he was like an executive ball clicker
Yeah, just-
almost. Like he just perpetual motion machine of dog going, which is how it sounds.
Yes.
Like it's great. Her dogs are awesome. And they bite people.
Which causes them to shoot laser beams.
Because it's Nichijou.
Because it is indeed Nichijou.
Let's talk about the intro and outro.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the first 2 intros and the first outro are all good, maybe even great. The second outro sucks.
Yeah, the second outro is kind of... I like the
Go on.
look of it, but I
Right.
don't like the song they played. It's
I mean,
just
I like the idea because technically that probably was really hard to
Yeah.
do a constant pan of a whole city,
Yeah, I remember like the
But-
perspective they got, and they got every character in there.
and that's neat. But at the same time, it's not visually super interesting or engaging or memorable or neat looking per se. Like, yeah, I agree with what you guys said. Like that is, but I mean, you got to compare it to like the other.
Yeah, I
outro
mean,
and-
it doesn't even stand a chance
That
with those.
intro, though.
the first one or second or
First
both.
one, I love it.
I love it too.
Like, I see it's stuck in my head so much. I'll just watch the show just to see the intros.
Now my
sometimes.
problem is I watched so much of that Mao Tendu video where he mixes that up with Snoop Dogg
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every
Yeah.
day. That pops into my head now when I watch that intro. Now a point I do give the second intro is that it has a lot of cooler cuts in it. Like it shows more interesting actions and things, and then it goes into the zooming thing.
Yeah.
At a certain point in it. And also, it's a much more upbeat, crazy intro, and I feel like it even has more budget than the first because of some of the nano shots where it's just coming up on her with the camera perspective, and she's running off to school and looks back, and is like that's very well fluidly animated.
One where
It's
they like it'll show them in like the test tube looking thing.
yeah, and it has like neon outline of her, and
Yeah.
like everything distorts as it goes. Na 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 na. And then, yeah, it was really cool. Like I really love that second one. My favorite part, and it's stupid, is when the song is really high tension, and then it breaks for a second for like the 3 main chicks to scream "Washoy" as they like kick their legs up like they're Russian dancing, and it gets me every time. Like it's just so good. Oh man, what
Can't
is
even.
huh?
I'm having trouble remembering it.
And it's my favorite moment. That's how specific.
I remember that
is.
moment.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble remembering
But it's
that.
so good. What is your favorite intro, Bob? First one or second?
I don't know. They're both really good. I probably like the second one a little bit more.
Eric, I'm not even gonna ask you because
They're
the
just too
idea-
much.
I watched it once, thought it was annoying, and skipped it the entire rest of the 26 episodes.
So you watch a lot of anime. Is
I
what
watched
you're saying.
so much anime.
But yeah, with when they go into that montage of zooming in on like things people are holding, I found that really interesting. Oh right, that reminds me that there was more than just one incident of it following that chick with blonde hair and the red bow. Mm-hmm. There's also one where she goes to a shooting gallery.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Oh
that
man,
that
that's
was
one of the
really
better
good.
ones.
Oh my God,
she goes
you're
to
right.
a fair. This character. Does anyone remember the name?
No,
I
that-
remember this
it's
came
the
up
bow
before we
girl, right?
started.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, somebody's like, "We need the name of that chick," and everyone was like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, I feel like if we get all the names of characters, not only would we need pictures,
There's
For some of
a
them-
lot of like side characters that have 1 or 2 stories.
like Afro
too.
Guy and
Yeah.
Warhawk Dude, Warhawk.
Warhawk dude.
Yeah, you played Warhawk now, Mohawk Dude,
Mohawk
name
dude
is
came up quite a bit. I guess.
Haruna Anaka.
Anaka. Okay, Haruda,
Haruna.
Okay,
Bow
In any case-
Girl.
So
Bow Girl. That's what I
so
searched.
she
Bow
goes-
Girl Nichijou.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great. Okay, so she goes to a fair and there's a vendor who has like one of those you shoot it with a pop gun, a little what do you call those bottle toppers? You need
Corks?
a corkscrew to take corks.
Corkscrew.
Hey man, I was saying you need a corkscrew to take them out, and by the time I had said that and constructed in my brain,
In the 3
you'd already
milliseconds-
said cork.
In the 3 milliseconds you said corkscrew, you were in your brain, you went, shit. That's a
Pull
cork.
out! You're going in too deep! You fucking moron! No.
Yeah,
She has a cork gun, and she's shooting it at these items to knock them over to win them.
It's like only two. It's like an eggplants and like a
caramels.
Caramels, yes.
Yeah, so it's like two fucking cheap as shit ones, and she keeps nailing this eggplant, and they keep digging in
Just
more and
sinking
more.
in, yeah.
And then she hits it one last time, and it tears it in half, and you can see the nail in the middle.
She even asked him like, these aren't like nailed down, are they?
And then he's like,
what do you
"No,
take me for?
We pride ourselves on our customer service and honesty." And it's some old shit, some dude who's like 40 or something, and he's just a fucking asshole with a 5 o'clock shadow. He's just so full of shit, like a fucking used car dealer, that scale. And then when she tears it in half with that fucking last cork, she stares at him and she's
He
like,
goes
"What are you gonna?"
stone-faced, for one.
Well, yeah. She stares at him and she's like, "What are you gonna do about this?" And he starts making snoring sounds, and she's like, "Why are you pretending to be asleep?"
That happens.
And that happens a lot in this anime.
No,
When she
People
first
pretend to be
hits-
asleep to avoid dealing with shit.
The best thing, he just goes completely stone-faced, gets up slowly, walks over, picks up half of the eggplant, gives it to her, and says, "Never come back."
When she first shoots the eggplant, the first shot she takes, and he's just like, "Ha! You can't start with the expensive prizes."
Yes, yes. And
She
then
just like looks, and it's nothing but eggplants and the
then
caramel.
She shoots the caramel after like 2 more or whatever. After she puts the second corkscrew in it, it bounces up, and then he's like, "Ha! You missed just by a few millimeters."
Yeah, but she like
Yeah,
hits it dead center.
It just bounces right off. Oh man, yeah, that was a really
So
good
what is
vignette.
with the thing with people pretending to be asleep?
Because it's such an audaciously stupid and fucking irresponsible thing to do, to pretend to be asleep when someone was just talking to you.
There is that.
It is
I feel
that
like
level
it's-
of absurdity.
I guess it's also playing off the notion that a lot of characters, as their facial expressions, are closed eyes, as you do in the animes.
Yes.
So you can just I'm talking to you, and suddenly now I have a snot bubble. Now I'm asleep instantly. Like you don't even have to.
Nichijou has the best faces in anime.
Stone face. Can you, when you edit this, just have that the entire time?
This is going to be audio as well.
Oh,
So
They
we
can
can't
see it.
we can't put that closer to the mic, Jeff, so they can hear.
no,
it?
I mean
Thank you.
They can hear the
when
face.
you put up on video on YouTube, just have that face there the entire time, if that's possible.
Or have Toast draw all of us with that face.
Face.
Show her real quick.
The scene where Mio loses Yuko's wallet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that
scene.
face is incredible.
I'm gonna go look it up now.
Okay, so in any case, yeah, there's a really good vignette of Mio at the fair, and Yuko loses her wallet, and she's just like stone-faced, not amused, completely disconnected from life the whole time. So it's her on roller coasters and shit.
No, it was Mio
Stone-faced.
lost Yuko's wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hold this so I don't lose
And
it."
Yuko is just
Just fucking angry the whole time.
nothing.
It was incredible. So yeah, this is I'm gonna point out now this, it's like, hey, why did you guys do this episode of WeeaBoots where you're all just like, man, Nichijou's incredible. Let's all talk about how incredible it is. Well, it was to get Jay from HailZeo.com to watch it, so we could talk to him about it. Because he's a hater, and we figured if anybody would be a hater, we'd bring him in. But Eric's here, and all he's been hating on is an 8-year-old because he's a soulless shit.
Okay. No, she's the soulless shit.
What are you talking about? She's got soul.
But what I want to talk about real quick is like just how good the physical comedy is.
Yes.
In this.
Top fucking notch.
Like it's occasionally like ruined a bit by these weird over the top reactions to everything sometimes, but when it's just not, when it's like silence or just a quiet piece of music playing in the background and the most bonkers shit is happening,
Like the shrine scene.
like the shrine scene or like the trying to build the house of cards scene
Yes.
or the melon
Yes.
scene.
That was a pumpkin.
A pumpkin.
They were trying
They
to
were trying
bust
to-
open a pumpkin, and it just
in
would not.
increasingly over the top ways.
The deer.
And then she ends that fucking scene by going, "This pumpkin's really hard."
That's it.
Like that's
After leaping 15 feet in the air and slamming it into the ground.
like a fucking luchador.
With like a lion flame tiger in the background goes rawr, and then she slams it.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know what more you can say about like.
I just wanted
How
more. I
crazy it
wanted
is.
more of that. Let's just like because every time they were like, "Oh, this is crazy!" Like, don't just let me enjoy this. Don't keep saying this is crazy or "Whoa, how did you do that?"
No,
Like the
no.
hot
See,
dog
that's
scene,
what's
like,
what's.
that was
Go ahead.
like the hot
know.
dog scene. How like the whole time they just like, oh my god, like you're definitely
Yeah,
not gonna make it. You're
there
not
is some
gonna
of
catch
that.
it this
Yeah,
time.
I mean, some of that is okay.
I'm trying to remember the hot dog scene.
That was the one where she's like, I like to save the hot dog for last, and then
Oh,
I say
oh,
Oh,
delicious.
and
yeah.
she eats it,
And then she drops it, and then like it's just a series of her trying to catch it, but accidentally
and it keeps
slapping
slipping.
Yeah.
And the,
it. Goes through the Mohawk guy's hair.
Yes.
I
She
get,
catches it at the end, and she's like, safe, and she's like, it's definitely not safe. You're out.
yeah. I don't know. I really enjoy stuff like that. Like
Yeah, I do. I was just,
Yeah. Just pointing out an example, so
that,
that way we could
like,
both
Eric
agree how
would.
wrong Eric is.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a. As I think it's just kind of like a. I assume it's a thing that happens in anime often.
No.
No, it just happens in this show.
Nichijou.
You didn't
All right,
understand.
Yeah,
it,
that's-
it wasn't
that's
to my
very
taste.
Nichijou.
Okay, it's just a little.
Well, then your
sometimes it
taste
went.
maybe
Sometimes
are
it went
gay and
overboard.
sucks.
Sometimes it worked, but a lot of the time I felt like, okay, just let me enjoy the joke and stop pointing out this is a joke.
No, see, that's good because some of the people in this universe, depending on their proximity to the action going on, are perfectly normal and okay with it. But then there's just that guy who, like, wasn't there at the beginning of the segment who's like, holy shit, or oh my god. And he's just like a normal person. And they have those moments and I really, really enjoy them. Like, where it's just like, they're doing this fucking over-the-top thing. Like, the deer thing basically is that. Where it's just like the principal dealing with the deer.
Okay, that's
and
funny.
She's just
Like,
like,
that's why that
holy
works."
shit, he's gonna fucking die.
The deer consistently just poof headbutts him in the gut. You see, I don't know, blood splatter or just effect, and she's like, "Please, someone, anyone, the teacher." Suplexes the deer.
Yeah, that was.
Off of the statue.
I love that how it was Street Fighter 4 style with the ink flying off of
Yeah,
the
that's
hits.
what it was. I
That
think,
was
yes.
so good. Oh man. Yeah, I really do appreciate this anime's sense of humor because it isn't just always crazy. It does have that contrast where it just drops down. Like the punchline to stuff can be really, really minimal. Like there was a whole chasing scene where Yuko takes Mio's folder because it has the worksheet that they worked on. But then Mio realizes, like, oh shit, I drew smut on the back of my worksheet. And it's just some dude giving another dude a blowjob and him just being shirtless, being like, at the perspective.
What every time they show those like images that she draws, there's like one word that he says. It's like "bake" or something.
Yeah. And, like, so Yuko takes that and she has that worksheet and Mio just escalatingly is like, hey, I need that back. I realized I didn't do it. And she's like, ha, you're kidding. And then she's like, I will pay you money to get that back. And then there's this long pause and Yuko just takes off running with it. And she's like, what are you doing? Give that back. So then it begins this over-the-top, visually charged, fucking insanely well-animated chase scene in the hallway where she goes through this emotional arc of losing hope and everything is dead and her social life will be burned to the ground because she's gonna see her smut.
While still calling after, "It's a bomb! It's
Yeah. No, you don't understand. And then at the very end, she's like, Yuko, don't run in the hallways! And she stops. And then she snatches it, or wait, no, she doesn't stop. She keeps running. It was after that, like, after she yells, don't run in the hallway, she trips, Mio does, and just keeps rolling and is clearly very hurt. And Yuko's like, you all right? And within a second of her saying that, Mio spins a 180 on one foot, snatches the whole folder out of her hand and just runs off. And it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, just moments like that where it's just like,
Yeah, no, that's good.
and then like the down note, because of course this started with like high speed and then extremely low speed. She realized she gets it back, everything's fine, class starts, and she's like, oh, I'm really glad I got that back. Wait, I just handed that in.
Oh, no, I forgot to
then
erase it.
Yeah, and then well, she handed it in was the problem. So in any case, she goes, I realized I didn't do my homework. and that's like the end of the whole joke. The whole joke is she has to not take credit for having done the homework because she doesn't want her professor or teacher to see it.
Then it's on the next test.
Yep. Fucking, they do those word things where it's like, hey, what was it? Street King.
Yeah.
It's like guy, and she draws the dude getting the BJ. And it's like King draws the dude getting a BJ with a crowd, and it's like Street King. Same picture as the last picture. That fucking anime.
I think the flowers were over his crotch to hide that.
Okay, it looked like the back of a head to me, but I don't know. Hey Jeff, you have Nichijou 1080p on your iPhone. What did it look like to you?
No, I don't know.
Because
I
we
don't know
had
what
some
episode that is.
720p rips.
Well, he looks at that. Well, you mentioned
Don't even know
the
what
sense of
episode
humor
that
of this
is.
show.
Yeah.
I would like to bring up a counterpoint of what the fuck Helvetica Standard.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that
What
instead.
Sure.
the first thing?
Uh-huh.
It's
The first time I saw that, I went, "What happened? I blacked out. What happened?"
It's a comic that the creator does.
Okay,
That is their
does that
thing.
excuse it? No. It's so good though.
There
was
was literally
one
so insane.
That got me.
Which
it
one was
it
that?
was the where the girl is like, "There's this book from my childhood."
Yeah,
That
it's
brought
this
me such
really
joy.
long story.
And she-
You're watching her travel the countryside and go back
Asking
to some
strangers,
rural village.
it's idyllic. It's amazing and
She
peaceful.
hasn't been to this library clearly in decades or something.
She's like, "I finally found it. The book that brought me so
so
much
much
joy
joy.
as a child." Opens up this book. It's just a hollowed out book with a gun inside, and it stops. That's it. I'm like, "Oh, it was incredible."
And it was.
But all the rest of them were like, the animation's weird. It's got that crazy soundtrack in the background. That just was like, what?
No, there's that great one where the Grim Reaper's like, what is clueless? What does clueless mean? What does clueless mean? And then another Grim Reaper comes up and he's like, you.
Yeah. What?
No, that's great.
I love the song it plays for those
For a
Helvetica
gift.
Yeah,
standards.
it's all
Value
like
of
beat
Brent.
up, beat up, beat up,
Little
beat up.
bird that can't pay the rent.
Yeah, and the bear.
It's like a raccoon or something. But they're like, we'll give it to you tomorrow.
Oh, what was it? The neighbor comes over and they're like, thank you so much. And the neighbor's like, oh, I just had some food, so I thought I would lend it to you because I know you're behind on rent. Don't worry, you could ask me for anything. And they're like, if I can ask you for anything, can we have money for the rent? And she's like, don't get overly courageous or some shit like that. Don't get full of yourself. And then they're like, and it ends. Also, there was that terrible pun one where the person came for the rent. And
Like always.
they were like, we don't have the rent. And she's like, why don't you have the rent? You said you would have last month's rent this month. You said you would have it next month. And then the bird pulls out a penny or a yen. And it's like, I know it's a sparrow's tea in a bucket, but... And then it ends there. And I'm like, oh, terrible pun. Oh, I want out. Because it was a terrible... Yeah, there are puns in Helvetica Standard too.
I missed the pun.
See, it was a bird
Yes.
handing her yen
Yes.
for the rent and saying, I know it's a sparrow's tear in a bucket.
Yeah. Is that a saying? Or is it just
Yes.
because I'm a sparrow and a sparrow's tear?
Yeah, it is. Over the.
Hilarious.
This came from Japan.
Okay.
You aren't in Japan.
What?
You are also not Japanese.
What?
You are also not in an Old Spice ad. So please stop. The mic would appreciate it.
What was the,
Not that I care!
Anyone with headphones just shit.
Welcome to iTunes! This shit is real! This week's podcast is brought to you by Audible! Which is what I am right now! Okay, I'm done. What's up, Jeff?
Subbable. Brought to you by Subbable.com.
Well, do you know what Audible is?
Roughly.
Yeah, most of the podcasts on the internet are like... The popular ones anyways are supported by Audible. They're like, go to Audible and enter the code Comedy Bang Bang. A giant bomb. WeeaBoots, that'll get you nothing.
Hey,
Fucking WeeaBoots, you don't read.
it increases the price of all audiobooks.
Yeah. Increases the price of all Japanese audiobooks.
What was the
Fuck you, Gaijin.
the Sky Princess?
Yes, that is the best cutaway series.
I honestly,
I like that
I was
a
gonna
lot.
say, I really like the first one of those. I hate the other two.
Really?
Yes.
You hate the one where all the numbered soldiers are trying to come up with a routine to appease her.
Yes,
Little
it gets boring. Like
Yeah.
once you see because I'm not gonna spoil what the joke is for the whole series of airship stuff. But once you see what they're going to do, it's just like, okay, go ahead and do it. Get back to the characters I want to see more of.
But it keeps going
You're,
back to
you're,
no.
you're cold and heartless. I really enjoyed it. It was just like, so
You're
she's-
cold and heartless. I enjoyed it when they all died.
The first
we don't
one
know
was
that they
really-
died, but more importantly,
The ones that are dropped from the
They were
airship.
dropped from an airship screaming.
I don't know that they're human. They were clearly very tiny.
They weren't.
No, they were. In that second one.
Exclusively.
Also, they weren't real. So in any case,
True.
in the second one, it's a bunch of numbered soldiers trying to appease the princess in order to not be murdered, apparently, or dropped from the airship in the sky. And I think that one really gets funny around the time where a dude walks up in a fucking, what do you call those things? Inner tubes?
Yeah.
It's an inner tube with an animal head coming out of it, and it's a swan. And he's like, I'm gonna perform Swan's Lake, or some like lame musical sounding thing, and he walks up and he goes to start, and then just fucking drops him immediately before he can do anything. And then they're like, number eight, come out. And everyone's like, where's number 8? And they keep looking around, and there's just this dude in the corner, like, crying, wearing the exact same thing. He's
Yeah,
like,
that
no,
part was good.
I'm not going out there. So then it cuts to a perspective of the front of the whole crowd. And you just see all these soldiers lined up, and they keep calling number 8. And then it does, like, a quick zoom on, like, where you can see the swan's head just sticking out from crotch level.
And of course, because it's inner tube around his waist and they're not wearing pants, it just looks like a giant bird dick.
Yep. I like it.
And in her defense, though, they did like try and murder her and take over the ship. In
Yes,
the first
there is
cut.
that.
They did.
So I think that's a pretty good punishment.
Yes.
And as soon as their leader died, they all recapitulated to
Yeah.
like, oh, the princess is so great.
Oh
They
man,
start
yeah, that was the
chanting
best
for
beat
her.
where they're like, Sora, pizza. And they just start clapping.
Asura.
Yeah. See, yes, that was great. I like that arc. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
I like it
What's
a
your
lot.
favorite cutaway series?
Cutaway
Bob?
series.
Because
Oh,
of
man.
course, like each episode has their own.
the jump rope is really good. I
The
gotta
jump rope
say.
is pretty good.
Like it's super simple, but it works.
Best prop. Poster in the background of Nano's house that has a shark on it and says shark on it.
No, it says shark twice.
That's true.
But you're wrong. The best prop is this tiny little shark puppet that Nano has.
Yes, okay, that's so
like
best
the,
actor, shark.
Definitely.
What is the red doll thing that you color the eye in?
Oh,
But then they drew the sunglasses on
Doraemon, or no, Doraku.
it. Yeah, it starts with a D.
Oh, the
Or some
Russian
such.
thing?
No, it was like you color in one eye whenever you have a goal set in mind, and you
yeah?
don't color
I was
in
wondering
the
about that.
second eye until you've
All I know is
completed
the
goal.
Pokemon's called Darumaka or whatever.
Right, and that's almost it. It's
Yeah.
Daru something else.
Daruma, probably.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they draw the sunglasses on it.
Yep.
That was
It's like,
pretty good.
this is fine.
The snowman.
Oh yes, God, it happens really early. They go buy a snowman from a store because a supermarket started selling a snowman.
They
Yes.
buy
What?
it in lieu of getting Sakamoto's cat food.
Yeah. They're like, here, have a snow cone. He's like, I'm not fucking eating a snow cone.
I'm a fucking cat.
And then they have the moment of like they were thinking about buying it, but other people in the store are like, no, we want that.
You gonna buy that?
gonna buy it?
It was just sitting on a shelf, melting.
Yeah. That was the best part. It's just melting.
It happens so early in the story too. It's like, what is this universe?
Right? It's like if you walked into a store and a product was on fire and you legitimately thought,
And then you ask a clerk, hey, is that for sale? They're like, oh, yeah. I want to, real
Yeah.
quick, you asked Bob about his favorite in-between segment. My favorite one, the single, probably best moment, the in-betweens, is one of those, like, just hovers over a scene for a moment. They have those all the time. They just have it in, like, the courtyard of the school. and you see little man walk out, just kind of look up, turn around, extend his arms, and you hear bam! He gets hit by a rocket launcher, and the entire thing just explodes in a cloud of dust.
Yep.
And it's done. 3 seconds. Like that. I had to stop the video and laugh for like a minute straight because I couldn't handle it. It's incredible.
Nichijou's full of like unbelievably good moments. And then there are other moments where me and Jeff, being Nichijou scientists, debate the meaning of it for months. Where I'm like, well, Jeff, she just came from the coffee house. Maybe she freaked out when the clerk told her.
Spicy scene or whatever.
Yeah, where she's like, can I have a spicy king's roll, whatever? And he's like, what, are you kidding me? And she runs out crying. That's the whole scene.
It's like a 10-second segment.
And it follows up the coffee one where I just
Right.
like, I assume the meaning is, of course, like, she just fucked up getting coffee so hard. She wants one thing to be simple. And she's like, can I have this? And he's like, no. And she has no idea how to deal with that.
I think that the whole joke there is, for something like a supermarket, you really don't need to be super specific about ordering it. So she was she was used to the coffee thing, like, okay, I need to say the exact name of this. But the exact name is something ridiculous,
But-
and no normal person would say it.
You think?
Yes.
I mean, it had
And
the
so
label right on it.
It did, but the name was absurd.
Right.
And
but
it's right next to the register, so it is
I
something
don't know
like,
about
there's that
Japan,
thing.
but I know Japan has absurd names for a lot of stuff. And over here we do too at like fast food and stuff, where it's like Cruncherito, Quesarito,
Yeah.
like all these fucking names for shit that's just stupid. And I feel like at least here, you're never fucking absurd for calling it the stupid name. It does feel bad. And overall, you've been lowered as a human being, but that's the new context you live at Taco Bell.
Right, but I feel at Taco Bell, you can get, like, the stupid name is one little thing. It's not like the Quesarito XL large.
But that's because it's not run by Japan.
Okay. I don't know.
PS Vita TV.
I feel like that is the joke there, though. That just, she's...
Yeah?
it's-
There were a couple of things like that where I was like, is this a Japanese thing or is this just I'm not getting the joke? Like a couple, like the first one, either it was a really dark joke or it was a Japanese thing where like the vice principal just walks along the hallway and the principal's behind him, but a little straw doll falls out of his back pocket of the vice principal. Principal picks it up, he starts freaking out, looks up, the vice principal's looking over him like, what's wrong? Open it. And he opens it, there's just some thing inside, and the principal just goes going, ah! Ah!
And it ends.
And it stops, and like,
So
I
that
think-
was Natto Beans, I'm pretty sure.
what?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that half the joke is that Natto beans, like, come in things like that. I don't
Do
know if they're
they?
grown in, but not like
They,
the doll
they
shape.
aren't in doll shape.
Okay.
No, but
The doll comes
straw
off
part.
as a weird voodoo thing.
Right.
Yeah, and the
So it's
vice
like-
principal was scheming to
To
take
fuck
it.
with
Yeah,
the
I know.
principal the whole
Right.
time,
But it was
which
like
is great.
weird and dark, like,
Yeah, no.
what?
My favorite part of that whole arc between the vice principal and the principal is when they're walking through that courtyard, right? And there's that statue of the vice principal. He's like, weird. This must be still be here from the time when I was principal. Man, these kids, they have such elaborate pranks these days. And then a delivery guy shows up and he's like, hey, we put this thing here that you ordered. This is where you wanted it, right? And the principal's looking at him and he's like, yeah, such elaborate jokes kids play these days. And then the guy's like, oh, yeah, no, we don't need this. You can take this away. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he turns around. And keep in mind, this statue is of the vice principal. And he's like, hey, we can take the ugly statue away. And the vice principal's like, oh. And he's like, the principal just like, he's like, don't feel too bad about it. And they're like, oh, you mean with this other hideous piece of shit? And it's of the principal. And so they're both just like beaten up entirely. It's great. I love that the principal's a man who has a fake balding head.
Yes, that is amazing.
He's got the strip of hair that he wears
Yeah.
for the back and the sides. Not even the front, not even a toupee.
No.
And it's really badly attached because in one scene he's like it's on sideways and then a bird flies by and he looks up and it shifts down into the correct position.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Magic.
It's basically like a shitty pair of headphones, you know, the
I
type
guess.
that goes around the back of your head, but like no clamp action on the ears.
Magic in the way I thought for a while was how Nano put on shirts because every time she changed clothes, somehow she got it on over the key.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
But then it was revealed like she has like a split down the back of her shirts of Velcro or something.
Yep. Which seems dangerous in Japan.
It does.
Don't ride the train.
Never ride the train.
Well, I mean, the key keeps them away. They have to stand like 3 feet back.
I think that's true. That's true.
Jeff, favorite character?
It's a hard one.
You're gonna have to pull the trigger. Which is your waifu? Mohawk guy.
Whoa.
It was the
Whoa, Jeff, your
the
taste is
psychic
questionable.
up on
I
the
think.
hill with the iPods.
God, I forgot about that shit. Oh my god.
Wait, the what up on the hill?
The psychic, the Mohawk.
Oh,
guy
the psychic.
climbs up
Yes.
the hill
Yeah.
to go
Oh
to
my
the
god,
psychic,
that.
Yeah.
doesn't pay her and runs off.
Yep. That was fucking
Like
great.
goes to bow in the opposite direction and then just sprints.
Yeah.
Yep. What a piece of shit.
I mean, she was clearly
Admittedly-
scamming.
Yeah, admittedly, he was like, I want to talk to my friend, like, Rock or something. He's like, oh, I'm a Rock. Woo! That'll be $50.
What I love is I feel like Mio's the best character. Like,
Yeah.
she's my
I-
favorite.
I honestly thought she was the main character for a while, just because
she's
there's
clearly some sort of like parallel for the author.
She has the
Like,
most
she's
humor
right.
around
She's-
her.
Huh?
She has the most humor surrounding her.
It's true, and her reactions are overly developed internally in the way that the Cromartie comedian is overdeveloped internally, where it's like you're just writing yourself, where they like overly question things and overly think things through even more so than Yuko does, I feel. But yeah, Mio does come off as the main character because of that. Because she's not a total shit and a dumbhead.
And has life goals. And
A
dreams.
dumbhead like Yuko.
But I
And-
think that's why Yuko is the main character, though. She's like incredibly, I don't know, like her only defining feature is she's the center of the shot.
And she is like the direct cause of
A lot.
like
A lot
Mio and or not Mio, but
Mine.
Nano and the schoolgirl friend groups like kind of merging.
That's true.
And
'Cause,
antics.
yeah, she was like the
Shenanigans.
one that was like, "Hey, robot girl, what's up? Let's hang out."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I would have to say Mio's my favorite. I don't know who my second favorite is because it's really close.
I'm rather fond of Nano, but I'm not sure if I would say she's my favorite.
That's too much commitment for you, Jeff.
Yeah, she's just not as funny, and I'm watching the show to laugh, not
Right, and
not
that's
be
sort
like,
of
"Oh,
the
Mio's
thing.
cute because she's a flustered robot." Mio, I keep saying Mio, but I mean Nano.
No.
Mio's not cute.
So I'm gonna have to go back and re-edit this podcast. But
Yeah,
what? Mio isn't cute. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. She
Nano's
scream-
cute.
She screams at her sister because she puts a chess piece in her fucking cupcake.
Oh my
It
god.
was,
It was strawberry shortcake.
Shogi.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a shogi piece. I was just using them as sorry. I watched too many localized animes. There, you happy?
Well, it's,
So she was
Do they call
shrinking
it
her
chess then?
special. Some of them.
and they
are
were
like,
fused the pieces as chess pieces.
Oh.
Yeah, but fucking, she was drinking her specialty Tenchi.
They went to the milk bar.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really like Mio's sister. Like how
Yeah.
frothy mug of water right there. But yeah,
Yeah, because she's another one that's just incredibly devious.
Yeah.
Like the first time she's introduced, she's just outside of the like Mio's house wearing some weirdo mask,
yeah.
and then
Like
chases
she-
her.
She's like some fucking god or something.
Yeah.
Like is what she's. And then she's like this. Sometimes I'm a bear. Yes, sometimes I am, but I am also. And she takes it off. This and she has like a luchador mask on or something, and then she's like, ah! It's so dumb.
It is.
Yes.
So overall, Bob,
What's
Jeff,
up?
you would recommend that people watch Nichijou? Is
Yeah.
that pretty
I
accurate?
wouldn't say it's my favorite anime, but it is one of my
What
favorite
is your
animes
favorite
to
anime?
watch. I don't know.
Right? I have this problem,
I
right?
have-
Check this out. His and Her Circumstances is really high on my list of anime, but I'm afraid to say that sentence to people.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what's good about it? Oh, what's great? And then I have to spoil it to explain that. And then the guy character goes insane in a way that's totally not cool for a high school relationship. Isn't that great? He's literally crazy because he got laid.
Yeah.
And that's why that series is great. What do you want? Also, Gynex, as usual, ran out of budget. Like 2 episodes from the end, so it just becomes narrated by the end of
Really?
it. I'm serious. It's a drawing, and then they narrate the actions. he
That's
sees
right.
her.
I remember Kyle telling me about
Yeah.
this like a long time ago.
Fucking yeah, I
Said
love
it was
it.
like seriously just like cut out drawings and, stuff.
And then the mangaka, the author, she fucking blew up on them. She's like, "You ruined my manga. It was so beautiful." And a friend of mine who really wanted to get laid by me, bought me a fuckload of the manga on the cheap, and I read it, and it was not good. So I was like, even more like, wow, Gydax brought all the good to this. But yeah, so Nichijou's up there on your list, but not your favorite anime. Bob, is it up there on your list?
Yeah, it's definitely up there in my favorites for sure.
It is in my favorites as well.
The only thing I would say is, like, I binged all of it right before was doing this podcast just to get fully up to date on it again. I don't suggest doing that.
No way.
Like, that is not the way to experience
It's
Nichijou.
kind of like eating too much candy.
Yes. I was
Like,
like,
it tastes good the first few pieces, then halfway through the bag, you're like,
right. Like, if I were to watch it like 2 episodes a day or something, that'd be fine. But just having to cram that much in a row, like, you don't gain
Yeah.
anything from it. It's not like
Yeah.
watching Baccano or something where it's the progressing story.
there's no intricate plot threads.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's pretty much why I can't devote to saying it's like
Your
my
favorite.
favorite. Yeah.
Visually though, I really
Yeah, it's
I think
so
it's
pretty.
impressive.
It's
Like-
oozing with budget.
Like Kyoto Animation, we haven't mentioned yet. They're the ones that did it. They always they
Knock
were on
it
the
out of the park.
cutting
Yeah.
edge there. It's crazy,
I
and they
love-
don't seem to do that thing where they run out of budget and just it looks bad.
Just they know which parts they can cut on, and other parts look great when they don't. Scram.
I love putting it on for background noise because I can look up at any moment and it's gonna be hilarious.
So
That
Eric,
is a good technique, I would say.
this is normally when we would ask the fourth host what their thoughts on this anime was, but I don't feel like you
I have thoughts.
a scale of 1 to 10 for anime.
I've seen animes.
Let's go
My-
over them.
I've
I like
seen
the
some-
S there.
I've seen some
The
Japanese
S really,
animes.
yes. The S really shows how authentic otaku you are.
I mean, I've watched a lot of like the Toonami canon and some stuff on Adult Swim.
I'm just gonna walk out before somehow our fan base reaches through the
Yeah, I
microphone.
know. That was where I started. I feel like a lot of people did start.
I feel
there.
like a lot of people started there, you know? So it's
Some-
okay that I did and stopped.
No, I watched stuff after
Fooly
that.
Cooly.
I watched. I will say for favorite anime, actually Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
It hit me right at the time of my life where it affected me.
I mean, Fooly Cooly has a lot of really important relationship lessons and other things like that. I feel like Fooly Cooly's a great anime.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not completely divorced of what it is, but I'm not familiar with a lot of current stuff.
So then let's get your fucking filthy gaijin opinion on Nichijou. What is your fucking unrespectable...
I thought it was. Let's hear your opinion that I will immediately disregard as completely useless.
Immediately, no. I preempted it with
Disclaimer: everything you're about to hear is garbage.
You might as well drink from a swill or drink swill if you're ready to listen to this and respect it.
No,
But
I mean,
no, really, what do you think?
I think I did kind of cannonball it a little bit
Yeah,
like Bob did.
that's true.
Although I split
Deep
it.
end.
I watched half of it one day and half of it another day, which
And it was your first time around, unlike Bob.
yeah. So
Right. Second time around makes it even more, oh man, I want to do anything else.
I will say I did enjoy it. The physical comedy to it is incredible. Suplexing a goat and deer, why not? Sure.
Yeah.
It was great, but at every time it felt like it was starting to drag, which it did over like the marathoning of it.
Yeah.
It then turned it around with some other amazing bit
Yeah.
of physical comedy. So yeah, I mean, and some of it was a little bit schmaltzy. And some of it, especially the professor segments, were like, "This is cute and precious." And I was like, "I don't. Get me back to the funny stuff. I don't care about this cute shit."
But overall, you would recommend it?
I would say it was a good show. I mean, especially like introducing the science teacher, which actually ended up being kind of my favorite character.
Yeah.
Who's just started like, I need this robot. I need to capture her, and just completely failing every time.
I really do love the gag where she pours the paralyzing powder into a coffee.
Like basically
but that
tries to
fills it
roofie
up.
her.
It
fills it up too
so
far.
much so it starts going over the brim and it instinctively just like, oh, that's too much.
And sips it off the top, and then someone goes, "She passed out in the lab."
Yep. It's great.
Or she's
or
like-
not even panicked at all. She's like, yeah, that teacher passed out. I wonder if she's okay.
Yeah. When she tries to dig a trap for like holes in the ground
Yes.
for Nano,
And tests
and
it.
someone else falls in. It's the Mohawk guy. First, she takes out a pair of like clippers and buzzes off his mohawk while he's stuck in this hole. And then she's like, all right, I better go get him out. Comes back with the shovel, and 3 more people are in holes. And she just like, fuck it, turns around and runs away.
And the best part is them sitting there and they're just saying shit like, oh, where am I? Oh, it's dark. I can't move. Like, they're saying the stupidest
Right?
like sentences
they don't even realize.
Sentences you expect from people who get stuck in a hole. Because the hole is only as tall as them.
But they don't even look up. They're just
They're just looking straight forward like, oh, I can't move. Oh, no. Help.
Or when she assumes that Nano. Oh, by the way, when Nano eventually does fall in the hole, her key stops her. She only falls like waist high, and she's like, "Oh, this is weird." And picks herself back out of the hole.
That was some very bad planning.
Yeah, because of course the holes are like just the circumference of someone's body.
Right.
But she constantly assumes that Nano is a devious mastermind, constantly thwarting her every plans. So when she eventually the teacher happens upon her house, it's like, "This is the lair of the beast. I have to be extra careful." They're just like, "Hi, how are you?" She's like, "Shit, they're laying a trap."
Yep.
And like when Sakamoto comes in, like they tied a bag around his head, and she sees the cat with the cat legs and like a bag up top. It's like, "Oh, homunculus, run!" There are eyes everywhere.
So you would recommend Nichijou?
That was I mean,
Yes.
there are some parts that drag, and if you like cutesy bits, then you'll get the whole thing will be appealing to you. But if you just like funny physical comedy and honestly pretty good jokes, then this is really good.
I feel like it really works on that basis. I enjoy Nichijou. I definitely recommend it. Join us next time when we review that thing we said we would review last time, but we've already forgotten the name of because what a fucking ridiculous name for an anime.
Also, real quick,
Yeah.
the only anime I've ever seen that ends with a shot of a blackbird jet just racing across the sky. Incredible.
Thanks for listening to this episode of WeeaBoots. Go check out our video game coverage over at GigaBoots on YouTube and consider supporting us via Patreon so we can continue making WeeaBoots. And our theme song is Android by Luckhash. You can check out more music from Luckhash at www.luckhash.com. Oh, and if you could, write a review for us on iTunes.
GigaBoots has been brought to you by the support of our producers Vincent Poverk and Cywolf via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.